Welcome back, everybody, to the daily update on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you're really serious about trading, you want to do this full time, and you want to support the channel and get all types of trade ideas, head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description for you guys. And now, let's get right into the market first. All right, so welcome back once again. First thing first. That new Project Freedom now will be paused, and you can see a little bit of a pullback on oil, but that's not what's driving the market. You can see AMD stock soars not 12% right now, it's up 15 plus percent as data center growth pushes revenue and guidance past the estimates. So again, AI narrative is alive, and this is the only thing that we have seen since March 30th. Market going up on these names, semiconductors, historic rally. A lot of people now we have to talk about it, and I think it's better, to show you guys what happened and some of the things that actually happened and some of the things that people are now just ignoring because if you tell people especially when it comes to the market hitting any bottom, people will say, well, a crash is here and the market just gonna go and crash and go down to zero. But then when the market does the opposite, like right now it's doing the opposite, market going up, people will say, "Oh, market cannot come down," and you can see 328. And the reason for me to bring this up that this is just before market bottoming. Everyone is leaning bearish. Fear is loud. Confidence is gone. That's exactly when market do the unexpected. Screenshot this. We're going back to all-time highs. This is me saying on March 28, 2026, bear will get crushed again. So in a longer run, usually I'm always trying to buy those dips. And if the market goes straight up, yes, I bought many dips, we made money, but if the market going straight up, there are no opportunities. Now, fast forward right now, I just made a video on stock market update, and people just get mad when you tell that the stock market will pull back. It's going to be really bad, and it's just not going to work out for you if you're chasing the market. They will come right, to your video, to your post, to your face, and say, you're just a big bear, market not going to come down ever. You guys saw that, called out exactly when market bottomed, right? And right now I have not seen this in last 20 years, the way market is going up on just few names, 10, 15 names. And I'm going to share those names with you guys. And now if you tell people like market is going to pull back, something's going to, something is going to come and something is going to drive the market down. The market, like Tom Lee says, it will test the new Fed chair this month that is going to come in. And there is a lot of, chaos going on. We're just covering all that. The government is covering all that. And it seems like oil is getting, like compressed down as it goes up. And it feels like nothing is happening, right? So people get more bullish, they buy into the rally, buy into the that's what's been happening, guys. People think like, why the market going up? It's just buying into the rally, buying into buying, buying into buying, and things just go up. But at some point we have seen these moves before. I even shared few moves from SMCI before. Look at what happened. Up 1200, right? And then what happened? Now nobody buys it. Nobody gives a crap. GME up 500. What happened? Nobody buys it now. Even the other day, the news came out. It was a pump and then a dump. Pump and dump. What happened to car? Now I'm not saying these stocks are similar to those names, but the move can definitely happen the same way that actually happened on those names because how fast they're going up, guys. Usually market takes stairs up and elevator down. That's what we all know. But this market right now, and even before that, especially right now, I would say, is taking elevator up. And how we're coming down? Slow steps, very slow. We're not coming down. We're not making no higher lows. We're not giving new buyers any opportunities. Things are just pushing higher. And who's actually doing that? Well, a lot of traders are just looking at it like, I missed out. I'm just gonna jump in. I'm just gonna jump in the pool and start swimming with the market. That's what's happening right now. But trust me when I say this, and this is coming out of a lot of experience in the market. I have seen these moves many, many times on many stocks where people will think they'll never ever come back to earth, and then they'll come back to earth. Just like the market right now. Nobody thinks that we can actually get a pullback. The comments I read, like, they're just really crazy. That people, if you just say that you're not bullish on the market and you don't think it's a healthy way of going, way things are going, especially big stocks that are actually market moving stocks, you get negative comment. Nobody wants to hear you. Just like when I was saying that market, we got a dip 10% and market will hit all-time highs. Guess what? How many negative comments came at me at the same time? Oh, you're gonna crash. This is nothing. We're going down even more. The noise gets louder and louder. And then what happened? Now, if you go back and look at my channel, face ripper rally, massive move is coming. Bunch of videos came out before that also. And what happened? I think we got more than a face ripper. This is like your face completely off. Not only ripper, it just ripped it off. This rally, right? That's what we got. So you can see the Dow is still lagging behind, and it's up today 0.73% thanks to Caterpillar. Nasdaq firing up with semiconductor again 1%, S&P up 0.81%, and Russell going up also for the day. Advancing 58.7, declining 36%. Uh, 11 sectors pretty much all in the green. Basic materials led the way on top. Technology, industrials, consumer defensive. Stock market map. What do we got here? Well, the same names. EMI was up. Now it's up close to 700, and there were some strike that came in the calls 700, and not to mention, guys, further out it was 1100. So I don't know if it's choosing the same path as SNDK and it's just gonna go up, up, and even more. uh Nvidia, that's where things get really sketchy. That Nvidia was actually down on the day 1%, Microsoft 0.5%, Apple going up. But look at these names: STX, WDC, Dell, SNDK, and then we have AMU, AMD, QCOM, Intel is up again. Yesterday was down $4, and today is up, I think, what, 12, $13, which is huge. And Broadcom, of course, hitting another all-time high today. A lot of the financial names are down on the day, but I guess nobody cares about these names anymore. Fear and greed index 67. We're still on greed, but I would call this extreme greed because we actually never saw any profit taking. We do have earnings, like AMD just released earnings, and this thing is going up. Then we have Disney tomorrow. That's another one that is up 7% right now. ARM, we'll see if tomorrow, because of ARM, there another gap up and go on, especially Triple Q. Then we have some names like McDonald's, Datadog. Then we also have Wendy's on Friday. I believe this is before opening. So a lot of earnings, and yet to come. Nvidia's earning on May 20th, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And with that being said, guys, let's get started. And I think I'm going to start with Microsoft today. So on Microsoft, it was down 0.5%. So one thing I want to point out here on Microsoft, that we actually have this channel here on Microsoft, and we're just kind of flagging here on Microsoft. So you can see this thing is just pretty much coming down as we're just consolidating. Some would call this left shoulder head. Maybe this is the right shoulder if this is going to play out. But we're still far off these lows, and we're just consolidating to, just digesting that earnings, because obviously market, the buyers definitely not into buying software names. And what they're into, actually, they're just into a lot of these semiconductor names, whether it's Chinese or whatnot, or whatever brand that is, whatever country that is from, they're just gonna buy those dips. So Microsoft here, key zone right here, you can see that 411 to 410. If that gives up, it did come down last week. Right here at 400, undershooting that 405 level. We do have a gap at 394. So these are going to be some zones to watch, aligned with this red line, 50-day moving average. If we can actually get over right here, that 5-day moving average, 414, we can possibly move into 420s, and then we'll see if this thing can push higher above these highs, which is 433 on Microsoft. On AMD, it was up 4%. So yesterday we got that mini dip, and the dip was bought up, and today gap up and go. And not to mention, now with double beat on earnings and the guidance, and few times mentioning AI on the earnings call, look at the results, guys. Up almost 15%, $51, and we're trading over $400 per share. Over 400. I think it was 408. Well, we can look at extended hours here. What was the high? This was the first candle, and look at the dip. It was 336, so it actually made a big move. Almost 411 came. So that is just insane. We'll see the biggest green candle, weekly candle, if the gains can hold up tomorrow. That's going to be the big one. But we saw same with Intel's earning, market gapping up, everything going up, all the semiconductors, and they never came back. Intel gave a little bit of dip yesterday. I think it was like $2, $3, I believe. And today it was up to a brand new all-time high. And now AMD, I'm not gonna do too much of a prediction. See tomorrow if this thing comes back, gives back maybe 10, $15, you can get in somewhere here, 385. It would be just for a day trade, because if you are just insanely addicted to this rallies, like you want to jump in, that, you know, I don't know. I mean, you can jump in, but knowing how much things ran from the bottom, not only this stock, I'm talking about overall entire sector, semiconductors, this is not healthy. I don't care, you know, I don't care what the earnings calls are. If this wasn't priced in with the earnings, then this is what we got right now, which is massive. So tomorrow we'll see how that actually opens up. If we can close over 400, then possibly more upside, and this Bollinger Band will expand as the stock moves higher. And I think this one is also possibly going to shoot for that $1 trillion market cap. So I mean, there is so many $1 trillion companies that are being made right now because of these massive rallies to the upside. So I'm not going to go too much into detail with the technicals, because nobody knows where things are going to open with AMD. But just so you know, AMD, they beat on earnings, double beat, and the guidance, and the few times mentioning AI on the earnings call. This is what we're getting out of that earnings call, up 14-15%. On Meta, it's down 0.89%. So Meta came back down to that was that earnings day low, which is 600, and this is going to be crucial. Meta has to hold 600. If this thing gives up 600, look at what's below 600, massive gap, 575, and I think we can come into that gap if this thing gives up 600. And obviously, they spend too much money into AI, and that's what causing this drop here on Meta. Too much spending on AI, and now if it breaks below 600, we will see that gap fill here on Meta. To the upside, looks like that 615, that's going to be a key zone. If we can get over that, maybe the 5-day will come into play. That's going to be 621, 629, and then 638. These are going to be big levels of resistance to the upside on Meta. On Apple, it's up 2.66%. So nice move up, nice bullish engulfing candle, not like the one we saw with earnings move. And I think this one, I mean, this is what I like, guys. And this is what I would call a healthy looking chart. Now, if this breaks out, I have no complaint. It can go 300 plus. I don't mind. I can even go and start maybe looking for a new breakout trade on Apple, because look at what's happening. Look at the weekly chart. What we're doing here on Apple, we're just flagging here, some sort of a wedge flag we're forming, and if this high gets taken out and we close over it, definitely Apple will run. But this is, how Apple is going up. You can see a lot of pullbacks happening back and forth in between. So if this thing actually, I mean, this thing has been trading here for quite some time. I mean, uh, almost a year, right? And even before that, this thing went back and forth so many times. You can see right here, we came back in, went back up, came in, back up, came in, double bottom here, and now we are possibly, breaking out to the upside. So this one here, 280 key zone support over 280. Watch out for retracement back up to previous all-time highs, 288.62. Over that, we'll look into 294 into 300. 280 breaks, 277, and then 272 right here. But so far, it's nowhere near that 272 range. So I would expect Apple here to do something in next couple sessions. Amazon stock, it's up 0.5%. So Amazon made another brand new all-time high. And this thing, you can see the Bollinger Band pointing down, slowly coming down. So I don't think too much gas left in the tank. And very soon you're going to see some digestion happening here on Amazon. And the first level of interest to watch out for would be that 5-day moving average, which is sitting close to 269, 270, which is going to move up. And if it comes down here around 265-ish, then watch for the next level into 258 and then possibly even lower. If this thing continues and gets over 278.56, maybe we go a little bit more up here, maybe 280 to 285. And I think a short-term top will be there at that point. But I think this thing is getting exhausted, especially with the run up. And now it's about time where Amazon comes in and pulls back and maybe some consolidation before going even higher. On Google stock, it's up 1.22%. So Google was trading, I think, close to 400. Let's just have a look at after our session. You can see 395 almost. So it actually took over Nvidia's market cap as the most valuable company on earth, Google, for at least that moment. We'll see how the market cap adjusted tomorrow. But I think that headline will come. It came out already once. That headline will come out possibly tomorrow before Google coming down and maybe consolidating or even filling this gap from earnings. But as of right now, strong earnings and Google heading higher. If we come back in, 380 will be a support level to watch. Underneath that, 375, and then maybe bottom of this candle, which is at 363, into the gap 353. To the upside, opening at a brand new all-time high. So watch out. Maybe we can take out that overnight high, which is almost 394, 395. If that's out, we can go possibly into 400s right here on Google, which is going to be a massive move, especially when you look at all these gap up and go here. That's what I'm, saying, guys. I mean, look at this move. How many gap up and go? And this is going to open up on another gap up tomorrow. So you think this is a healthy way? I mean, we're like we literally got any dips here on Google. It's going vertical, straight up. Usually in a healthy market, look at this run up here, guys. Look at this run up. Okay, from here, we went higher. We came back in a little bit. We went higher. We came back in. We went higher, came back in really fast. Then we went higher. Even on the way up, we had red candles, but this is vertical. So this is not a move that you would see every day in stock market, but it's happening, and we just have to live with it right now until we get big opportunities in the market. And a lot of people are just ignoring that because now all of a sudden, like they're a big bull, and if you talk about a pullback, they're gonna come at you and hunt you down like, no, we're not getting a pullback. What are you talking about? You're bear. Market is never gonna pull back. Same thing when market goes down. Now you're bull, and they will be a bear at that point. On Tesla, it's down 0.80%, so not participating in that rally. We had a little bit of push to the upside, but again, backing off. So Tesla, I would say if this thing breaks over 400, then game on for possibly a move higher. But as of right now, barely holding on to these moving averages. 383 to 384, that's going to be a key support zone. If we get under that, watch out for 375 and even lower, move to the downside can happen on Tesla. On Nvidia stock is down 1%. So I don't know if Nvidia just letting or Nvidia's investors letting Google go ahead of Nvidia? Is that the game plan, or Nvidia is actually weak and we're just gonna come back and fill that gap from 3 Friday ago where we gapped up, entire market gapped up, and this one is not too far off from this gap, only $6 away, guys. So that is concerning. Nvidia already coming down off of these highs. It was a fake breakout, at least from a technical point of view, and now 196 gives up. It's gonna fall into the gap 189.66 to the upside. Now Nvidia has to break over 199.19 and then 203. Only over 203 Nvidia will look more bullish for more continuation to the upside. Otherwise, this is actually a red flag for the market, where market making new highs, but Nvidia is not moving with the market. So Netflix, another down day, 3.44%. And if you look at my screen, looks like we're gonna fill that gap around 85, 86, and it's not too far off. We can get there early as tomorrow. So the earnings didn't play out really well, and a lot of people were chasing this move. And now I think it's the right time to possibly get back into Netflix. So if this thing comes back down here, that's gonna be a fantastic area of support. As long as the support holds, this is a good opportunity. But if this thing reverses back up and gets over 91.7, we could be going back up again to the upside here on Netflix. But I think, the way this thing is looking, we're going to fill this gap and possibly will consolidate here before the next move to the upside. Broadcom is up 2.61%, so another all-time high today. So this one hitting an all-time high, backing off. Now we do have resistance around 429 to 430. If it gets over that, I think it's over that right now because of AMD. And yes, right here, 432. We're trading at 432. So if this thing gets over that, I mean, I don't know where this thing can go, but look at the move here, guys. I mean, how many gaps, gap up and go. We had this a little bit of pullback, at least some sort of a pullback here. But again, continuation back up to the upside, just like every other semiconductor. And this thing can possibly move into 440, into even 450 if this all-time high gets taken out and we're trading over that. So 429, 430, a key zone. If it comes back in, maybe 422 to watch for. Underneath that previous all-time high, that's going to be around 413.39 on Broadcom. Now, quickly, before we wrap up this video, just want to show you guys this chart of SOXX, and look at this move, guys. I mean, this is just getting insane, and it's not going up by $1, $2, $3. I mean, look at this move here, and now we're trading actually at 493, 4-ish, right? So it's up. If you look at my screen, 61% since March 30th, the bottom, without any pullback. It just going straight up. And even if you look at some of these levels, especially when it comes to fib levels, look at this right here. It's right here. So even at 38% retracement, we'll get down to only 423, not even at previous all-time highs. And so far, it's not even happening. So even if we come back down to today's candle, that's going to be around 418, and we're nowhere near 418. As a matter of fact, we're knocking on the door at five, like almost at 500. Same thing goes for SMH. I mean, it just ballistic move. We had this little bit of bear flag pattern here, but guess what? Bear flag played out to the upside. There was a 4-hour chart, and same thing. It's trading where? Look at this, 533. Even if you get some sort of a retracement here from these lows to the today's top, or even if you want to go to let's say 533, which is trading at 533 right now, 38%, a small retracement, a small one, would get down to 467 as of right now. I mean, this thing is nowhere near. Even if we come back down top of this candle from these lows, 38% retracement at 463, it's gonna come at some point. It's going to come because nothing goes up forever. These moves, especially when you look at these kind of moves, look at this move right here. These moves, vertical moves, cannot hold up for too long. You can see time and time what happened. This was pretty vertical, even though we had some red days here, but it was going up, right? And then what happened? Boom, right? This was a 5% pullback. So this cannot continue. And people that are getting extremely bullish here, that is just too dangerous. And that's why the warnings are out there, and people that are experienced in the market, nobody's chasing, but some people are chasing. Like I said, buying into buying, and that leads to a massive, massive rally. And that's what we're seeing in the market, guys. And that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching.